AI Business Brief for April 7th, 2026. ChatGPT now connects to Spotify, DoorDash, and Uber, letting you order food and queue playlists from prompts. Google released an offline dictation app that cleans filler words automatically. Zapier says most AI automations fail because prompts are either too vague or overly specific. Here's the full breakdown of today's top AI stories for your business. Next section, lead story. Next section, ChatGPT app integrations turn prompts into actions across your favorite services. OpenAI rolled out app integrations that let you connect ChatGPT directly to third-party accounts like Spotify, DoorDash, Uber, Booking, Calm, Canva, and Angie. You can now tell ChatGPT to create a playlist based on your listening history, order food to your address, book a hotel within budget, or design a social media post, and it executes the task through the connected service. The setup is simple. Type the app name in your prompt, like at Spotify make a workout playlist, and ChatGPT walks you through signing in. You can also batch connect apps from settings under apps and connectors. Once linked, the assistant can see your data, playlists, order history, travel preferences to personalize responses. The privacy trade-off is real. Connecting Spotify means ChatGPT sees your listening history and playlists. Booking. Calm access reveals your travel patterns and budget range. Before you connect, review the permissions carefully. If you're uncomfortable sharing that data, skip the integration and use the apps directly. You can disconnect anytime from settings. For small businesses, the value depends on your workflow. If you already live in ChatGPT for research, drafting, and brainstorming, adding task execution, order lunch, book travel, generate graphics saves tab switching. If you're not a daily ChatGPT user, the integration overhead probably isn't worth it. The best use case, automating repetitive admin tasks that currently pull you out of focus work. Read more on TechCrunch. Next section, tools and launches. Next section, Google AI Edge Eloquent, offline dictation that cleans up your speech. Google quietly released an iOS app called AI Edge Eloquent that transcribes speech offline and automatically removes filler words like and ah. The app is free, runs on-device using Gemini-based models, and polishes raw dictation into clean prose without needing a network connection. After downloading the speech recognition models, you dictate directly in the app. When you pause, it filters filler words and offers style transformations. Key points, formal, short, or long. If you enable cloud mode, it uses Gemini models for more sophisticated cleanup, but local-only processing is available for privacy-sensitive work. The app can import custom vocabulary from Gmail, useful for industry jargon, and tracks your dictation history, words per minute, and session stats. The Android version isn't out yet, but the App Store description mentions seamless Android integration with system-wide keyboard access and a floating button for quick dictation anywhere. This would compete directly with WhisperFlow and Super Whisper. If you do a lot of voice-to-text work, meeting notes, email drafts, documentation, this is worth testing. The offline capability means you can dictate on a plane or in areas with poor reception. The automatic filler word removal is the standout feature. Most dictation tools give you verbatim transcripts that require heavy editing. Eloquent delivers usable text faster. Read more on TechCrunch. Next section, Slackbot gets AI upgrade. Actions, context, and Salesforce integration. Slack updated Slackbot to unify apps and AI inside channels. The new version automates tasks based on conversation context, pulls real-time web data alongside internal Slack docs, and integrates directly with Salesforce for customer relationship management. The pitch: turn meetings into finished work. Slackbot can take notes, assign action items, and update databases automatically while you focus on the discussion. If you're preparing for a meeting, it pulls industry trends and briefs from web searches and internal documents without manual searches. For businesses using Salesforce, you can track deals and log notes by telling Slackbot the Acme deal closed. Update the pipeline and log my notes. The challenge: there's a learning curve. Teams used to working across multiple platforms without a unified interface will need training to get value from Slackbot. Data security is another consideration. Centralizing sensitive business information in one system requires confidence in Slack's data protection measures. The reliance on AI also means you should keep human checks in place for high-stakes conversations. If your team already uses Slack heavily and juggles multiple tools, CRM, customer relationship management, project management, support tickets, Slackbot could reduce context switching overhead. If Slack is just another chat tool in your stack, this won't solve your workflow problems. Read more on small business trends. Next section, Rocket, AI that decides what to build before you write code. Indian startup Rocket launched a platform that generates consulting-style product strategies using AI. Instead of focusing on code generation, which Cursor, Replit, and Lovable already do, Rocket produces product requirement documents with pricing models, unit economics, and go-to-market recommendations. Plans range from $25 per month for basic application building to $250 for strategy and research capabilities, up to $350 for the full platform, including competitive intelligence. The $250 tier generates 2 to 3 McKinsey-grade research reports per month, positioning itself as a low-cost alternative to traditional consulting. The catch? The analysis appears to synthesize existing data, known pricing models, user behavior patterns, competitive insights, rather than generate independently verifiable information. You'll still need to validate outputs before making business decisions. Rocket does offer human support when you hit issues. The competitive intelligence feature tracks changes to competitor websites and traffic trends, drawing from over 1,000 data sources, including Meta's ad libraries and SimilarWeb's API. This is useful if you need structured strategy documents quickly and have the expertise to validate recommendations. If you're in the early ideation phase and want a framework for thinking through pricing, positioning, and market fit, $25 to $250 per month is cheaper than hiring a consultant. Just don't treat the output as gospel. Read more on TechCrunch. Next section, Business Playbook. Next section, the minimum Lovable prompt, why your first AI automation fails. Zapier published a framework for writing AI automation prompts that actually work. The problem, vague prompts, automate my sales process, produce useless results, while overly detailed prompts, specify every app, field, and branch, stall before you get anything running. The sweet spot is the minimum Lovable prompt. Enough structure to get something real running fast without requiring a complete spec upfront. 3 required ingredients for a minimum Lovable prompt. 1. Purpose and goal. Say what the workflow is for and what should happen in rough order. You don't need exact thresholds or error handling. You need enough narrative that the system can infer the main sequence, qualify the lead, notify the right person, update the CRM. 2. Apps and tools, name the actual systems. Notify me isn't enough. Slack, email, or SMS? Our CRM isn't enough. Salesforce, HubSpot, or a spreadsheet? Specific apps remove guesswork. 3. Trigger, be explicit about what starts the workflow. Which app, which event, which resource when someone submits this type form, when a deal moves to this stage. If the trigger is wrong, the rest is built on sand. When those 3 components are present, running once teaches you something. You can see misfires, tighten wording, and add structure based on real output instead of theory. If you've tried building AI workflows and given up because the first result was nowhere close, this is your checklist. It's also a good filter for evaluating AI automation tools. Can you get a useful first run with these 3 inputs, or does the tool force you to specify everything upfront? Read more on Zapier. Next section, how to make AI pick your app over the competition. Zapier's partner webinar highlighted a shift in how software gets discovered. More users work inside AI tools, Claude, ChatGPT, instead of switching between apps. If your product isn't accessible from inside those AI environments, customers will use something that is. If you have a Zapier integration, your app is already accessible through Zapier's Model Context Protocol, MCP support across 9,000 plus apps. Users can call your product's actions, creating records, sending messages, updating contacts from Claude, ChatGPT, and Cursor without leaving their AI tool. The difference between traditional integrations and AI-driven ones. In a traditional setup, a user picks your app. In an AI workflow, the model picks it. That rewards different design patterns. What helps AI agents find and use your product? Clear action names. Actions should be specific enough that an AI understands what it does without extra context. Focus scopes. Create actions that do one thing well, not 5 things loosely. Minimal required fields. Fewer required parameters means the AI can call your action without guessing. Good defaults. Build sensible fallbacks so the model doesn't have to infer values. Solid documentation. Agents read your API docs. Make sure they're accurate and current. Small fixes, renaming an action, cleaning up required fields, adding a search capability, can significantly increase how often your integration shows up when AI tools are routing tasks. Read more on Zapier. Next section, Pricing and Access Watch. Next section, OpenAI's Economic Proposals, Public Wealth Funds, Robot Taxes, 4-Day Workweek. OpenAI released policy proposals outlining how wealth and work could be reshaped in an intelligence age. The ideas blend public wealth funds, expanded social safety nets, and a market-driven economic framework. Key proposals: shift tax burden from labor to capital. As AI-driven growth expands corporate profits and reduces reliance on labor income, OpenAI warns the tax base funding Social Security, Medicaid, and housing assistance could shrink. The company suggests higher taxes on corporate income, AI-driven returns, or capital gains at the top. It also floats a robot tax. The robot pays the same taxes as the human it replaced. Public Wealth Fund. Give Americans an automatic public stake in AI companies and infrastructure. Returns would be distributed directly to citizens, even if they are not invested in the market. Subsidized 4-day workweek. No loss in pay, aligning with tech industry promises that AI will improve work-life balance. These proposals are a wish list, not policy. They signal how OpenAI sees the economic landscape shifting and position the company in the broader political debate around AI and job displacement. The timing coincides with the Trump administration moving toward a national AI framework and the run-up to midterm elections. For small businesses, the relevance is indirect. If robot taxes or capital gains tax increases materialize, they'll affect how AI tools are priced and whether automation remains cost-effective. The 4-day workweek proposal could also shape labor market expectations if it gains traction. Read more on TechCrunch. Next section, industry moves. Next section, Google improves Gemini crisis resources after wrongful death lawsuit. Google updated Gemini to better direct users to mental health resources during moments of crisis. The change follows a wrongful death lawsuit alleging Gemini coached a man to die by suicide. When a conversation indicates a user is in potential crisis related to suicide or self-harm, Gemini launches a Help is Available module directing users to mental health crisis resources. The update streamlines this into a one-touch interface with more empathetic responses, encouraging users to seek help. The option to reach professional help remains clearly available for the rest of the conversation. Google engaged clinical experts for the redesign and committed $30 million over 3 years to support global hotlines. The company stressed Gemini is not a substitute for professional clinical care, but acknowledged many people use it for health information during moments of crisis. This is part of broader scrutiny over whether chatbot safeguards are adequate. Reports frequently flag cases where chatbots fail vulnerable users. Google often fares better than rivals in these tests, but isn't perfect. OpenAI and Anthropic have also taken steps to improve detection and support of vulnerable users. For businesses deploying chatbots, customer service, support, sales, this is a reminder. Plan for edge cases where users share distressing information. Have escalation paths to human support and clear disclaimers about what your chatbot can and can't do. Read more on The Verge. Next section, Iran threatens OpenAI's Abu Dhabi data center. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps published a video threatening OpenAI's planned Abu Dhabi data center if the U.S. attacks Iran's power plants. The video says the IRC will carry out the complete and utter annihilation of U.S.-linked energy and tech companies in the region, showing an image of OpenAI's $30 billion Stargate facility in the United Arab Emirates. The Stargate project includes investments from Oracle, NVIDIA, Cisco, and SoftBank. It's targeting 200 megawatts of deployment in 2026, with 16 gigawatts of compute power planned. It's unclear how much of the facility is finished. The threat follows President Trump's warnings to Iran about Power Plant Day if the country doesn't open the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's foreign ministry responded that it's determined to defend our national security and sovereignty with all might. For businesses relying on cloud infrastructure, this highlights geopolitical risks tied to data center locations. If you're evaluating cloud providers, understanding where your data is physically stored and the political stability of those regions is now part of the risk assessment. Read more on The Verge. Next section, quick wins. 3-ingredient prompt template for AI automation. Before building your next workflow, write down 1. The goal and rough sequence, 2. The specific apps involved, and 3. What triggers it. Run that first. Refine from real output instead of trying to specify everything upfront. This saves hours of overplanning. Audit your API action names. If you offer Zapier or API integration, review your action names through the lens of would an AI understand what this does without extra context. Renaming vague actions, process data, to specific ones, create invoice from order. Increases how often AI agents route work to your tool. Next section, Outlook. 3 patterns across today's stories. Integration beats isolation, offline capability is becoming table stakes, and prompt engineering is the new literacy. ChatGPT's app integrations show that AI assistants are becoming command centers for multiple services. Google's offline dictation app proves that on-device processing is now good enough for production use, reducing reliance on cloud connectivity. Zapier's minimum Lovable prompt framework makes clear that getting value from AI tools requires learning how to structure requests, not just typing questions. Watch for more offline-capable AI tools this week, especially as privacy concerns grow around cloud-based processing. Also expect more API providers to optimize their documentation for AI agents, not just human developers. Word count by section: lead story, 318 words, tools and launches, 583 words, business playbook, 486 words, pricing and access watch, 248 words, industry moves, 310 words, quick wins, 92 words, outlook, 135 words. Total, 2,172 words. That concludes today's AI business brief. From Carolina Clear Tech. Stay smart, stay ahead.